Hello, everyone. My name is Katie, and welcome to Greenland Quilter. And tonight, our guest is Becca of Becca channel. Welcome, Becca, and say hello.
My name is Katie.
Everybody, Greenland Quilter. Tonight, our guest is Becca.
Sorry about that. I
No,
had on my end.
it's okay. I was like, wait a minute, what did I do?
No, that was on my end.
Anyway, um, welcome to the channel, and tell them a little bit about yourself and what you're going to be working on tonight.
All right. I think most people here probably already know me, and I don't mean that to sound vain. So, if you don't, I have a channel on YouTube called Becca. I make quilting and sewing videos, just kind of sharing my creative journey with whatever it is that tickles my fancy. I like to do tutorials, sew-alongs, and occasionally an unboxing or a tip and trick demo video. But the other thing that I do is every Friday night, I do a 2-hour live stream where I work on something in my sewing room. And sometimes I'm accompanied by my mother or a friend in person, but most of the time I'm just kind of on my own and winging it. So that's a little bit about my channel. Today, I'm going to be catching up on my designer mystery by Qaqortoq. This is a block of the month that I think has just wrapped. I think we just got month number 12 mailed out. And so I've got blocks 10 and 11 that need to be put together. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm cutting out block 10 and then I will piece this. And once that's done, I will move into block 11 so that I can get caught up.
Oh, that's outstanding. You're getting closer, aren't you?
A little bit.
I think it's going to be pretty when we get it finished.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to work on tonight, I'm going to talk about the raspberry block for a minute, and then I'm going to work on clue 4 of my secret garden. And I don't know, well, if I get these blocks done before it's time to stop, then I probably will pick up on my raspberry kisses block. But I wanted to show you how it's starting to look. So this is what that, if I do it like row of 6 by 7, and the colors will go further down. I don't have all the colors done yet. But once I have them all done, then I'm going to go in the order of the fat quarter, I think, the way they were bundled. But this is where we are on this right now. So, hello, Donna. How you doing? I hope you're feeling better. Hi, Beverly. Hello, Melissa. So that's what those look like. We'll talk more about them later. So for this little raspberry kiss block, I took colors from this fat quarter bundle.
So talk to us about what the raspberry kiss block is for those of us that don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so the raspberry kiss is a little sew-along I'm doing right now that I started 2 weeks ago, that I offered to others to sew. And it's a free pattern, and you can go to this website to either print it out or turn it into a PDF, and then you'll be able to print it. So, but it's free from Wooden Spoons. I had talked to them at QuiltCon because that's where I saw the quilt, and I asked if I could use it for my channel as a sew-along, and they said most definitely. It's a free pattern, and they told me where to go, and so that's where I went. And I am looking for the paperwork for it. I must have said it somewhere. Okay, so this is what the block is, which you've already seen how they look on mine, but this is what the pattern shows. And there is an actual, there's a part where you can print it out if you set this up as PDF file. And then on one of the pages, which is not here, Anyway, it shows the block with all the pieces apart with the exact measurements. And the only thing you're doing is you're sewing together a 3.5 by 1.5 rectangle with so this is the solid strip here is 3.5 by 1.5, and then you add 1.5 background, 1.5 the same color, 1.5 background, and you make this into a square. And then we put half triangles all the way around, like a block in a block or square in a square. And that's how they're tilted sideways to look like an X now. So it's the little sew along I started 2 weeks ago, like I said. And it's free. And I posted the link for the pattern in the channel. And yeah, that's what that's about.
Okay. How are you enjoying that so long?
I actually like it a lot because it's squares and rectangles. And already the half triangles could tease you a little bit if you don't get them aligned properly around the block. You could have that problem, but I'm not really running into that problem because I'm creasing the center of the block and the center of the half triangle very gently because I don't want to stretch that bias. And I think I haven't made a decision. I definitely will put like a 1.5 inch border all the way around it that's the same color as the background, but I haven't decided on whether I want to take and cut more strips from the fat quarters, like a 2.5 inch strip, and make a colorful border to go around it. I'm not sure if that would take away from the center of the quilt or make it look more like a picture frame or something. So I haven't decided on that part yet.
Makes sense.
Anyone has thoughts about it, they can share it in the chat. Okay, so what is everybody working on today or have been working on today? Have you been sewing all day?
No, I just got home. Nope. Ran errands today. It's Saturday. Saturdays are usually reserved for family days and errands. We made an exception for a couple hours this afternoon to do this, but nope, we just got home.
Oh, okay. I hope you had a good day out.
It was okay.
Okay, so right now what I'm doing is just working on part of the clue, and I'm gathering up my pieces so that I don't make a boo-boo.
Becky Spencer says, hello, everyone. The Siberian wind is here. Denise Spigner, sorry, I'm having a hard time reading because I don't have my glasses on. She says, hello to you. Good afternoon and happy Mother's Day weekend.
Hi, everybody. I'll be turning around here in just a minute. I just got to gather up my next set of pieces to sew together.
Donna from Handmade Bagging is here as well, and she said thank you for the information on the pattern. She hadn't heard of it before.
Yeah, it's really cute. It was in the booth at QuiltCon, and the quilt that was on display in the booth was probably the size of a twin size, probably, or a what do you call it, a throw? So this one's probably going to be just a little bit smaller, but that's okay because I'm practicing sewing, videoing, and all that at once. So that's why I'm trying to keep certain things more simpler until I get good at it anyway. And maybe I'll come up with a new design again soon.
Rachel says she's finishing up a quilt that she started on one of the Zooms.
Okay.
Andrea says that she just finished pressing blocks and now she's getting ready to put rows together for her final Harper Strong quilt.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm sure that Ronald McDonald House will appreciate all the donations y'all send.
Yep.
That's a really good donation to go to. I don't know why I thought that Ronald McDonald House was just a Florida Shands teaching hospital thing.
Nope. It is not. Joanne Walker is here. She says, hello, everyone. I really like the pattern also. Thank you for sharing it, Katie.
You're welcome. And I'll share the link again.
People can get the link themselves too by typing that command in the chat, right? So you don't have to be the one that types it all the time.
I don't know how, I haven't figured out how to set that setting yet.
Well, it looked like you had done it before.
Nope.
I missed that. Well, you typed exclamation whatever.
Yeah, I do that, but I don't know how to do the exclamation selfie thing.
No, exclamation raspberry. Anybody that wants the pattern can type that themselves.
Yeah. Oh, true. You're right. Duh. I don't have to do it, right? Sorry, it's just habit. And if you want to go, if you're not subscribed to Becca's channel, just type in exclamation mark so Becca, and it'll show you a link for her channel as well. And for Donna's, I have to manually do it because I'm not sure what command I use without having to go look. Let me see if it works. And this link I'm about to share is for Donna's channel. Hey, Lori. Hey, Andrea. Nope, that didn't work. Interesting. Where is my Nightbot? I wonder if I put, I know I got a link in there. So what is everybody working on? Terry says she just put together the What's in Your Closet quilt along from Pat Sloan's Block Wednesday. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Andrea says I just finished blocks and now getting ready to put rows together for my, oh, you already read that.
Yep.
And Andrea says hello to everybody. And something is in the way of my screen.
Lori Clark is here. She's saying hello to you.
Hi, Lori.
I think you said that already, but just making sure that we're keeping on top of the chat.
While we're doing that, I'm gonna take a quick peek at the link for Donna's. Could have sworn I had it in here.
All right, so you promised everybody good conversation.
So what do you want to talk about?
Oh, this is your channel. You
let me see. What can I come up? What kind of mischief can I start?
Like I did in this conversation. You give me some questions. You give me some topics.
Okay, let me see here. What is the worst quilt you ever made?
Oh, okay. You go first.
My worst quilt? I would
One you're
probably
least proud of.
I would probably say my first couple of PMQs are a hot mess on the back, but they look good on the front.
Let's change that around. Instead of using the term the worst quilt you ever made, because that implies that your work was bad and the quilt is horrible and it's atrocious. And I don't like that term because that makes us feel like we're not good enough, right? That's a very pessimistic way to look at your quilt. So in the same spirit, but maybe tailored a little bit differently, what is the quilt that you learned the most on?
I would probably say the one I've learned the most on has been the PMQs.
Okay.
It helps me and this machine. My consistency with the 1/4 inch seam has turned out to be, I can, when I go back and look at my first couple of PMQs on the back, they're a hot mess. And it's okay that they're a hot mess because I didn't know what I was doing back then. You know, I was a person who made clothes, not quilts. And it was tough getting used to using a 1/4 inch seam allowance when you're used to, what is that, a 1/2 inch that usually comes on patterns, or 3/8 of an inch or something. Um, so you get used to that bigger seam, and now we're working with smaller seams. This took me a little while to get good at it. So my first few quilts, you can see I struggled with like points coming together, or where there was multiple seams around a block or inside the middle of the block. I didn't know back then how to make them flatter. I didn't know about all these little extra things that you can do, like a roller, or finger press and use a roller, or finger press, use a roller and an iron, to make it flatter. Especially since I can't use much starch in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that my first couple of PMQs, and the PMQs over time, my sewing has gotten better. So what about you? What do you think, when you first started out, what did you have that made you get where you were good at what you were doing?
I think every quilt challenges me a little differently. So it depends on what we're talking about, but I would agree that the PMQs helped me understand the importance of a good seam allowance, a good, solid, true 1/4 inch, scant 1/4 inch, generous 1/4 inch, because no 2 1/4 inches are exactly the same. And even when you're looking at like a scant versus another scant, those can even vary a little bit. They're kind of like fingerprints. Every quilter, every set combination of thread and fabric and machine and quilter is going to give you, and project is going to give you a different result. And so it's always important to test that 1/4 inch to make sure that you're still good. As far as, if I were to answer the question from the same point of what do I feel like challenged me the most and helped me grow the most, I don't know that I could have necessarily one, but I feel like the very first quilt, the very first block of the month that I did, which was with a local quilt shop, it was for the Gravity quilt. I was a brand new quilter, didn't even know what a 1/4 inch was. And just doing the first couple months of that block of the month helped me realize just how much actually goes into it. And that's kind of what gave me the push to start taking some of those habits a little bit more seriously. You know how when you're a crafter or a crocheter or whatever, they always say, don't break these bad habits. These are 10 habits to break, or whatever. I felt like when I messed up with the Gravity quilt, this was my chance to not get used to those bad habits. So I wanted to set them right. And so I feel like most of my growth kind of stemmed from that.
Oh, okay. That makes great sense. Okay. I'm making sure I turn these triangles the right direction.
Melissa said she struggled as well, but she's getting better. Lori said she hates her winter star quilt. There's too many points, but her warmth of our stars quilt showed her what she was doing wrong.
So Lori says she will enjoy your company while doing cross stitching. And then Rachel asked a question. Let's see if I understand this properly. Have you ever had a drop day? I just seem to drop half of what I've taught today. So
I don't.
can Rachel, can you explain? Wait a minute. She just stuck touch in there somewhere. Have you ever had a drop day? I just seem to drop half of what what I've touched today. Gotcha.
That's a
Yeah,
case of dropsies, butterfingers.
yeah. I think that's a great question, actually. How many of you have experienced the uh drop half of what you've touched today, or whenever you're sewing or whatever? Any of you experienced that?
We all have our clumsy days where we just drop things without realizing it, right? Like
Mhm.
that, we all go through that. Sounds like she's having one of those days. Maybe tomorrow will be better.
Yep. I have this thing of knocking things off the table or
Yeah.
off the desk or off the sewing machine. And there's nights when I've done that when I'm sewing and I keep clumsily knocking things over. And if Nikolai's home and he starts seeing me do it a lot, he's like, it's time for you to get out of that chair. Because usually when I start dropping things, it's because I'm already tired.
That makes sense.
Um, what when you mentioned dropping something, I had another thought. How
Sure.
many of you, how many of you, including you, Becca, and I know you talked a little bit about how when you're working on projects, sometimes you lose the mojo to want to sew that particular project for whatever reason, or you just don't feel like doing it. And then when you go back to try to do it, you close the box and walk away and go do something else. How many of you do that? And if you do that, do you know why you do it?
So for me, I do that because sometimes I get flustered with a technique that I'm just not grasping. I might be tired of looking at the fabric that I'm working with. I may be tired of doing the same thing 5 million times. I am not the type of person that handles mundane, repetitive tasks very well. And so I have to switch it up. And it's often why I have multiple projects in flight because I need to change things up. Yes, I'm always sewing. However, working with a different set of fabric to make a different block or do a different thing can be just enough variety to change it up for me. And so I'll usually have multiple projects in flight. When I when I find a work in progress moves to a UFO, for me, it is usually because I've become overwhelmed with the project or uninspired by it.
Okay.
And
Um,
if that happens, that's when it's a great time to think about, do you really need to finish it? Is it something that you can pay forward to somebody else, or do you need to just rudge your way through it?
thinking about some of what you said in the past about, you know, some people would say, let's just kick it to the curb or whatever. But paying it forward or giving it to someone who might love to sew it is actually a really great idea because it ends up not going into the garbage can, which is something I can't bring myself to do. So,
Well,
um,
that's where the whole idea of quilt bankruptcy comes in, right? If you
yeah,
declare quilt bankruptcy, you're giving yourself the freedom to get out of that project. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily throwing it away. It could mean that you're taking the pattern and putting it away because you don't want to work on it. And any fabric that you have already allocated for that project gets put back into the stash or absorbed into another project. And if you do have blocks that were made a part of it, maybe you turn those into a table runner or a wall hanging, or you put them in an orphan block quilt. It doesn't always mean that because you played that bankruptcy card that you're throwing the things away. It just means you're abandoning the project and you're changing direction. And it could mean that you're so uninspired by the fabric of the pattern that you don't even want that. And maybe you are paying it for it. Though I will say, there are people out there, and you have to let them be able to do this, that will throw their fabric away if it gets that bad. And that is okay too. It might hurt some of us as quilters to hear that because that's fabric we can have. But if it served its purpose, does that make
that makes
sense?
yeah, that makes great sense.
I just don't ever want anyone to feel like quilt police tells you you have to keep doing it. We have such this mindset of we have to clean our plate. We have to finish everything that we take. We have to do all the things. And it doesn't have to be that way. You don't
Oh,
have to finish every project.
it's like rule after rule after rule,
No,
and you're like, why do I got to do these rules? Why can't I do
it,
it my way?
You don't have to keep your scraps. You can throw them away if you want. It's whatever works for you and your sewing room.
Yep. Let me see here. Donna says, lurking, hi all, and thank you, Katie. You probably don't have my link. Yeah, I'm still working on that, Donna. I need to go hunt her link because it's not in the bot. So I must have never got around to it.
I'm pretty sure most of we've got about 55 or so people here watching. I'm pretty sure they all know who she is. They can look her up, right? So
Yep.
if they want to find her later, they can go onto YouTube and search for Handmade by Ying with Donna. While it's nice to throw the link in the chat, I'm sure it's not absolutely critical. Most of the people here probably already know who she is.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
Robin says that she's working on Hexies and lurking as I don't want to stab myself. And she's got tears coming from a happy emoji. How many have you made so far, Robin? Because last time I checked, wasn't it around 75 or something? Hi, Jamie. How are you? She says, I'm having a graduation college party. Donna says, me too. I'm not sure what the me too was for, though, because I waited too long. Melissa says, I've struggled as well, Katie, but getting better. Laura says, I always been a jump in and go for it kind of person. I learned something from every quilt I've made. I still have my first, and I love it for what it is. My grandmother taught me to sew when I was 8. Oh, that's so cool. Donna says, yep, again. Hi, Jamie. And she says, ha, I have. Rachel says, yes, totally having butterfingers today. Yep. So maybe you're tired today, and I don't know, or maybe you're not in the mood. Hi, Katrina. Katrina says, I knock stuff off or they roll off my desk. New project time means clean up under the desk for everything I've dropped. Yep, me too. Joy says, I'm trying to not be such an impulsive buyer, meaning I see all the maybe it's best quilts everybody makes, and I immediately buy it and get so overwhelmed. I don't do anything for a while. Yep, I've experienced that too. And she says, good afternoon to everyone. Donna says, Becca, is it possible you can go back in time and have a repeat of your first quilt, lessons learned through the years, then and now? Actually, that is a really great question from Donna.
I mean, it's always possible to go back. I know I could go back and look at those quilts and redo them from the ground up and be able to be like, okay, now that I have done this a gazillion times, I know I can do this better. And I see that type of improvement happen when I make something that I've been doing since the beginning, like a bag or a purse or something. I also
go ahead.
I also see lots of improvement in just like the piecing, right? You start to see your points are starting to line up a little bit better, and now your blocks lay a little bit flatter. So you start to see some of that come out. I don't know that I'll come back and actually recreate a quilt that I've done in the past. I am a one and done type of girl. I feel like life is too short to make the same quilt multiple times. I want to move on to the next one. There's too much that inspires me. So for me, I would probably just kind of keep going and move on to the next one.
Sounds like a good plan. Okay, let me read some more in the chat. Katrina says, good afternoon, as I said. You've answered Donna's question. Donated material, don't throw it away. Well, here's the thing. I don't know that I have a place to donate fabric here, to be honest. But that doesn't mean I can't give it away in a live and just mail it out to whoever. I don't have a problem with that. In fact,
except for the shipping from Greenland to overseas.
Yeah, but I don't care about that.
Well, but some people do, right? And so I'm taking a stand. I'm taking a very firm stand here, and this might cause people to unsubscribe. If you have the means to donate, and unsubscribe from me, not from you, but if you have the means to donate, by all means, feel free. I'm not saying don't donate. What I am saying is don't feel guilty if you don't have a way to do that and you choose to discard it. That's okay. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not personally what I do, but I know there are people out there and I don't want them to feel like I don't want them to feel guilty for a decision that they made that was right for them. There's
Yeah.
all sorts of reasons why people move on. I will tell you, I've had fabric in my room that I could have given away, and this has been years ago, but I've had fabric in my room that had such horrible, horrible memories associated with it. I didn't even want to go through paying money to push that out somewhere else. And at the time, I wasn't a member of a guild or anything like that. And so, it wasn't a large amount of fabric. It was just a little bit, but I absolutely did discard it. I did put it in the recycle bin and I paid it forward to the garbage dump. And for me at that time, that was the right decision. I don't make a habit of it, but I want us all to be able to be the quilters that we want to be without feeling judged by anybody else because our quilting world, our quilting life doesn't look the same as somebody else's.
Yeah, you have a point there. I agree with you on that. I thought what I would do with, I've got, well, I've already kind of showed it to some people already in the last live, but I thought I would give away something when I hit my 1 year anniversary, which is June the 2nd.
Yeah.
Try to give one of these away. And Becca will recognize it probably.
No, I don't know what that is.
That Qaqortoq kit.
Oh, wow, that's a very old one.
Yeah, it's the it's Bloomtopia.
Oh, very pretty. Nice.
And I think I have the backing to it somewhere. But
Got it.
I have 4 of these. Not 4 Bloomtopias, but 4 years worth of, yeah. And I thought I'd give one away for my 1 year anniversary of being a channel.
Well, and I also want to be careful with this one too. So I feel like I'm just sitting here being negative naysayer and drugging up all the drama. You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me on your channel where I just create drama.
That's all right. We all have a
So
right to voice our thoughts about something.
the other thing that I want to be careful with, I don't know how else to say this. I'm trying to pick my words carefully, but as a content creator, you don't make tons of bank by putting together the YouTube channel, and that shipping does get really costly. And so it feels like there can be sometimes an expectation that when you hit milestones to give things away and to ship them and to do all these other things, or if you just have a little bit of fabric to mail it, and not everybody has the means to do all of those things. So I love that you have a giveaway coming up, but I also like my heart kind of goes out to you because I know you live in Greenland and most of your demographic is probably not in Greenland. So shipping it
No,
overseas to ship a kit that I would give away on my channel is going to cost you a lot more than it would cost me.
yeah, this is true.
So
But
I think we just need to remember how, like, I feel like it's okay for you to not give away extravagant prizes because to get it all out of your house is going to be the price of a whole kit.
it's possible.
It could be. It could
Yeah,
be.
I mean, I've mailed a few things out that didn't really actually surprise me. It's cheaper than the United States, but I haven't tried to send something this heavy because it is a little bit heavy. But if I didn't send the box and just sent the fabric and the pattern, I might could save on weight that way. But it's
I
still going to be a little bit weighty.
I just mailed a Singer 301 to be painted, and it cost me almost $100 to mail it.
Oh, how much did it weigh?
16 and a half pounds, 16 pounds, 12 ounces. So
See, the postal service has kind of gotten pricey. I was going to say greedy, but um, The reason I say that is because not only are they charging you by the weight, which should be the way they charge you anyway, because because I can pile on 25 pounds in a box and pay $150 for shipping. But a 5-pound package cost me $85. Does that make
Yeah.
sense to you? Because it doesn't to me.
Well, I think sometimes it also depends on what's in the box.
My boxes usually have, when I get them all the way up to that higher weight for $150, it will have fabric, garlic salt, tea bag, brewed Tetley tea bags, and Louisiana tea, because I like both of those. Things like stevia drops, the real ones that don't have additional stuff added to them.
Yeah.
Things I cannot buy here, period. And then what I do is I tackle it or get enough gain that it weighs around 25 pounds and send it that way. And you can stuff a lot in a big box properly if you know how to pack it. I just can't put aerosols in my box because every time they come through Denmark takes them. And the only aerosol that's usually in there is my deodorant. All right, let me touch the channel some more. Teresa says she'll take it as a challenge, but I'm not sure what type of what challenge she's talking about. Andrea says, I like it when creators do giveaways of the projects they don't or can't finish. Fallon does that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Actually, that's kind of a cool idea. And
That
Teresa
is
says, go ahead, Beck.
No, I said that's a great idea.
Yep. Andrea says, yes, we all love Donna. Most of us already subscribed. That was from Andrea, and I just lost something. Oh, where did it go? Kelly says, I redid the alternating 4-patch quilt that I took my first class with. Perfect pattern for the Las Vegas Nights quilt that I made for my friend's son a couple years ago. Hi, Kelly. And she says hi to Joy. See, Robin says, I would be willing to pay shipping. Yeah, I'm the same. I would pay shipping.
I don't mind doing that. That's why, like, I don't throw stuff away. I will cover shipping, and if I need help with shipping, I'll work that out through email offline. I actually don't have a problem with that because I feel like it's a win-win, right? You're going to cover the shipping,
And still
but
get something
you still get something free because you would have had to pay the shipping if you bought from the States.
Exactly. That's why I don't have a problem with doing that.
Yep.
Because, I just appreciate the fact that because you've heard me say this a zillion times. I usually don't win anything. But when I do, I'll make it right and pay the shipping, not a problem. Okay, Jamie says, you are the captain of your ship. And then Andrea says, some of us can't afford all the kits and tools that we see everyone do.
That's right.
We drool over what everyone else is doing, though, and we watch and support those who can. Yep. I understand, Andrea. Really, I do. Yep.
Absolutely. That's why I think it's important as content creators that the things that we're putting out there aren't always things that you have to buy, right? I think it's okay to be like, okay, I'm going to make this project and here's a free pattern, or here's a pattern that you can buy a download for, or you can buy from the mail. But if everything you're doing always requires a purchased kit with a very specific fabric line, then you're alienating a good portion of the audience that might not want to or be able to buy that kit or that fabric. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Something kind of came to mind too when you mentioned about, well, what she said and what you just said. I don't know what you did when you first started out, but like for the first year and a half, maybe 2 years, I bought everything that came around. Every time Kimberly was showing something, I would go buy it. A doodad or a seam ripper. what I've been thinking about as one of my videos, I thought about making a small short video and talk about the top 10 things a beginner quilter needs, and make it a simplified thing. One long ruler, one seam ripper, a rotary cutter, and it don't have to be an expensive rotary cutter. Those a list of things, so that if a beginner watches it, they're like, oh, that's all I need to make a quilt to start with, instead of spending tons of money on things it turns out you didn't need in the long run. This is why I have 10 rotary cutters. I'm not lying when I say I have that many of them. That's not counting all those scissors over there. But a lot of those scissors came in sampler boxes that I did for over 4 years.
So when I first started sewing, I didn't know who Jenny Doan or Kimberly Jolly
Me
were.
neither.
So I didn't buy all the things. And then when I did learn who they were, I learned about Jenny Doan first. And I only watched her for the tutorials. That's it. I didn't buy all the fabric. I didn't buy all the things that she had. But where I did get caught up is if I went to Joann's, I would always walk out with a couple coordinating prints, because a lot of what I was making were just things that were going to be bags or something practical. So I would buy two coordinating 1-yard cuts.
I'm still here.
All of that fabric is now gone.
You know what I find interesting about this?
I think we're waiting for you to answer that.
Oh, okay. I thought you had more to say.
Nope.
When I was making my clothes as a teenager, most of my fabric that I bought, or most of the fabric I bought, was bought from money that I earned in 2 different jobs I had. One, I worked at a little cactus nursery for like 3 years, and I took all that money and poured it into more plants, into the car I had, and into fabric to make my clothes. Because I walked into Cato's one day, because we were part of a church where women don't cut their hair, don't wear pants, nothing. It's skirts and dresses and shirts all the way, And if you walked into Cato's back then to buy a dress, it would cost you $50 or more. But if you went into a fabric shop, you could make 3 of those same dresses for the price of $50. So I started making all of my church clothes, by going to the fabric store and buy patterns and sewing them myself. And I noticed, I can tell you, I never had leftover fabric. I always bought whatever the pattern told you to buy, and that was it. But as a quilter, let's have as much as we can get,
Yep. I don't know. I definitely went through a period where every time I was in a fabric store or a store that sold fabric, I bought all of the things. And then I went through the period where I learned about quilt shop quality fabric, and I didn't want the Joann's. I wanted, hold on. My phone keeps dinging, and I don't know if you can hear it. So I was trying to make my computer not ding when my phone dinged. Can you hear my computer when my computer's dinging?
No, I thought it was your phone that was going off.
Well, my phone is going off, but I also get the messages on my computer too, and I didn't want it to be distracting. So anyway, when I started learning about quilt shop quality fabric, right? I definitely went through a phase where I wanted to buy all of that. And so I would go gung ho and I would get a whole bunch of this and a whole bunch of that and a whole bunch of whatever else. And then as I've matured in my tastes, what I've realized is that your taste evolve. And so what you buy this year might not be what you like in 5 years, 10
Yeah.
years. Um, um, it might not be what you like in a couple of years. And so what you end up, sorry, I'm trying
I'm gonna
to, no, I'm trying to measure this and trim it, and I'm having a hard time talking and reading my ruler. What you might end up liking in a couple of years from now might not be the same thing as what you like right now. And so why would you want to grab all of that fabric if in 2 or 3 years you don't like it? Right?
That's true. I know that when I first started out, I bought an ungodly amount of charm packs. Every time I saw a
Yep.
charm pack come across Kimberly's lives, because she would show them and oh, those are so cute. Like this one. I don't know how old this particular one is. And I had two of them. Flutter and Shine. You remember this one?
Yeah.
They would be like buy one get another one free, or they had them on sale, and I would buy them that way. So I ended up with I don't know. I think I have about 50, probably 50 or 60 of them, and 10 or 15 layer cakes, and but 3 jelly rolls because I stopped buying jelly rolls altogether. And I have only bought a couple of charm packs in the last, maybe a couple in the last 2 years. So I've gotten where I'm switching over to yardage
Yeah.
because you can do more with more. That didn't sound right. That's not exactly what I meant. Okay, let me catch the channel. Some of us can, yeah, I read that one. While I'm getting ready to read the rest of this chat, one thing that I didn't know the difference in back then when I was a teenager is I would buy fabric from a fabric store, which was a lot like, it was similar to the shop. We saw two shops down one was in Orlando and one was in another city. I don't know which one, but they were the same company, just two different areas. The one was humongous and it had everything that you could imagine you would need to make quilts, make clothing, do upholstery, do wedding dresses, do prom dresses. I mean, they had everything, including patterns in there. It was a full fabric store, like what you used to see.
Mhm.
And I used to buy from that kind of shop, but I also used to buy some of my fabric for what I made clothes out of from Walmart because Walmart used to have a banged up um, fabric department.
Yeah.
It was substantial.
I don't
And
think there's anything wrong with buying from any of those places. Just
just
for
wonder, I would have never known the difference in the quality of the fabrics.
So I noticed a difference in the quality of the fabric between Joann's, Walmart, and what I was buying from my local quilt shop because it felt different when I was touching it. Some of it. I won't say all of it. And I remember there were certain fabrics that I bought, but looking back as somebody who's done this for a while, it wasn't quilt shop quality fabric that I bought. I think it was like a home deck fabric or something. And it unraveled a whole lot easier because the weave wasn't as tight as quilt shop quality cotton. And so I've definitely had instances like that, but I don't think that it was subpar fabric. It was the wrong fabric for what I should have been using. I
Yeah.
have noticed that some of the fabric that I have had instances, sorry, I've had instances with Joann's where I've bought fabric from them and it was very thin and it was very flimsy. But I also learned later that what I bought was not solid cotton, it was broadcloth and it was made for a different purpose. But at the time, I thought all fabric was created equal. You know what I mean? It
Mm-hmm.
didn't matter. So, no, I don't think that Joann's or Michael's has is always subpar. I think it's whatever you want to work with and whatever you can afford. The reason why I usually like quilt shop quality cotton is because the designs and the colors and the palettes usually appeal to my eye more than what I would see at a Joann's or a Michael's for them, or a Walmart for the most part. Now, I will say there are some lines that I've seen at a Joann's that are okay, but I can walk through a Joann's store and not be inspired, at least the ones near me, not be inspired by any of the fabric that they have. It doesn't mean that it's bad fabric that nobody should ever work with. I'm just not inspired by what I see and I don't want to work with it. But there are quilt shops that I'll walk into and I won't be inspired by any of the fabric that they have either. So it's not because it's Joann's and it's not because it's a quilt shop. It's just if it doesn't catch my eye and it doesn't inspire me, I'm not going to pay the money and I'm not going to work with it.
You know, Joann's used to be a substantial fabric store. It didn't used to be like it is today. At least back when I was younger, it wasn't. I mean, you could go in there and find whatever you wanted fabric wise. But back then, I was making clothes. I wasn't making quilts. So, it was that. Okay, let's see here. Katrina says, I bought fat quarters for a temperature quilt, threw away the pattern, and used the fabrics for something else. Some of us have done that. Laura says, I agree, Becca. Everyone needs to do what is best for them and their mental well-being. Yes. Kelly says, we all have different circumstances. What works for me will not be great for someone else. That is very true. Stephanie says, does that kit have flying geese? Becca may want that. It probably does, Stephanie. Katrina says, shipping is horrible. I have to ship things to my son and I dread it. You know, I dread sending from the US to here. I don't dread it going out because it seems like the price is better. I don't know. It's weird. Donna says, unless they pay shipping, just a thought. Yeah. And that just disappeared again. Hang on a minute. Okay, I'm right. Hi, Patty. Kelly says, I don't give away anything anymore. Postage is too expensive. And Jamie says, it usually costs $5 to $12 to ship a package of fabric. Andrea says, when Donnell was giving away her first sewing machine to anyone who would pay the shipping, I agreed and I do not regret it. Yeah, see? Most everybody in the community are pretty good about doing their part, I think. Terry, you're not late. Kelly says, I gave away several cross-stitch projects a few years ago after I fell out of love with them. I sent them to Sunshine Stitchers in Florida and they were appreciative. Katrina says, good quality blades for that rotary cutter. Becca, don't get me wrong. I'm about to I don't know what that word is. There's reuse and recycle and then TEDUSE. What is that?
I don't know because I think you've gone so far back in the chat.
Robin, I don't know what that one word means. Anyway, I watch millions of tons getting removed from the great garbage patch. Yeah, I actually discovered that there is a company who picks up all the scraps and stuff that comes from fabric shops and fabric stores, you know, after they cut, you know, everything they cut and they have all that leftover stuff. They don't they now can let those companies recycle it to another company. Tiffany was the first creator I subscribed to, and she always had creative ideas for saving money while cooking. Yep, she is very good at that. Someone says they had to steer clear of soya. That was Jamie, I think. Kelly says, agree, Jamie, that channel is dangerous. Kelly wants to know what your shirt says, Becca.
It says, I may be old, but I saw NKOTB on stage.
Terry says, see, I buy Walmart and Joann's. I've never been to a quilt shop. I have bought online like at Missouri Star at Qaqortoq. Terry said, but it's expensive, so I stick with Walmart and Joann's. Katrina says, I like charm packs for baby quilts. Hello, Maritza. Andrea says, when I first started sewing, there was no such thing as a quilt shop. Patty says, I definitely could tell poor quilt fabric at a quilt store. I think you need to buy whatever you can afford. Quilt stores are fun but expensive. Yes. Andrea says, way back when people ordered yard goods and quilts were made from leftover fabric from clothes making. Yeah, they were made from seed sacks too. Terry says, I agree. Buy what you can afford. Kelly says, I stick with 2 local quilt shops and Fabricland. That store is like what Katie described. Fabric for everything, trims, patterns, pillow form. Yeah. I mean, if I was rich, I'd have been buying some stuff in there, needles, the whole 9 yards. There was a man sitting on the floor putting new patterns in a pattern drawer. It was cute. Judy says, I buy fabric. Oh, already, wait a minute. Patty says, I've been quilting since 1998 and there were quilt stores where I live. Judy says, I buy fabric from quilt shops in Joann's or Walmart. I usually buy for a specific project anymore. I have enough to last a lifetime. Hi, Denise. Hi, Nancy. Hello, Julie from Wisconsin. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Now, what do I want to ask next? Let me see. What can I ask? How many of you, while you're sewing, well, never mind. No, that's not a good question. I'm curious, how many projects do you guys have open right now? Let's see how many some have, just for the fun of it.
How
How
many?
many? How many works in, well, how many WIP UFOs do you have open right now?
How many do you have?
How many do I have? I
Yep.
can tell you I have 10 unfinished PMQs. The centers of most of them are done. And this is something me and Diane's been talking about. She says, why do you stop when you get past a certain, I'm like, I don't know. I get bored, or I was gardening, or I was tour guiding, and then when I came back, I wasn't in the mood for it. Started something new. You know, sometimes that happens. So I have about 10 PMQs. Right now I have 3 current things I'm working on. No, 4 I'm working on. And then as far as other unfinished ones, maybe 5. I really don't have a ton, but I have too much as well. 10's a lot of projects unfinished. Some of them just need to be quilted. The piecing part's all done. I have 6 that need quilting.
What are your plans to get those quilted?
Don't know yet because I'm having a hard time. Well, 2 of them I'm having a hard time deciding what kind of backing to put on it. So, and the one of those 2 is going to go to Tiffany whenever I figure it out. Because she's going to quilt my first sugary dew quilt. But currently, I don't know. I need to really think about learning more of this machine, I guess, so I can start quilting. I can straight line quilt okay. It's just when it comes to big quilts that's a little challenging, it seems like to me. Uh-oh, I forgot to do something.
Terry, I think, wins. She says she has about 20. There are 20 work in progresses. Joan says, Joan Reed says, hi, Katie and Becca. I'm just joining you from my sewing group. What are both of you working on? Katie, do you want to show them what you're working on?
I am working on Clue 4 of Tree of Life Secret Garden. So here's part of a, this is, I have to make 4 of these. And then I'll show you what this other one's about to look like. And I have to make 2 of this one. So let me press it open so you can see it. I need an iron for this.
Julie, Wisconsin says, I have to take breaks from my hand sewing and quilting to rest my fingers and tendons. Julie is also asking, Becca, did you and your mom go out for ice cream and enjoy yourselves last night? Yes, we did. We did not get ice cream. Instead, we got smoothies from Tropical Smoothie. Gladys, the confident quilter, is here. She says hello.
Hi, Gladys. How are you? I'm going to show you the block here in just a minute. Okay, and this is, I have to make 2 of these. Kind of looks like a house.
Mm-hmm. How many colorways are you doing for your puzzle mystery quilt?
On my Tree of Life 2, the next one that's coming up, I'm only going to do 1, and I'm not sure which one I'm doing because I kind of don't like any of them.
Have you seen the new colorways that have been being posted?
I saw 3 of them yesterday, but I haven't looked to see if they posted anything today.
Do you think you'll
So
skip
far,
the then?
huh?
Are you skipping the next one then?
I don't know. We'll wait and see. It depends on if there's some. Right now, only one kind of blinks its eye at me, but I don't know.
Which one is that?
It's the, what is it called? Oh, what fabric it's using that is. Hang on, I'll tell you. Oops. Let's see which one I could share this on the screen. The one that kind of peeks its eyeballs out at me is the Nora's Garden by Shauna Doris for Andover. It's got pinks and greens in it and creams. And then there's a dark one that looks, I thought it was blue, but then she called it purple yesterday.
Can you share your screen so that people can see what you're looking at?
Yes, I can. Okay, so I'm over here on cottoncuts.com, and then you click on this puzzle mystery quilt here. So you can see the menu down here, and I clicked on how it works. And then it tells you all about the puzzle mystery, the 2 sizes. You have a 48 by 60, which is the small, and a 72 by 72 is the large. And the small is, see here it says it's $19.25 a month and $29.50 per month for the large, but when you go to the next page, the price changes.
Yeah, they've gone up.
Somebody, yeah, I'm going to let Kim know there's a, whatever you call that, an error. Okay. So these are the ones that so far are up. I kind of like this one, but it has too much black in it. But and I also know that this one where I'm pointing at right now, the arrow at, and this, it's this one and this one that are the 2 dominant. That's at 6 o'clock, isn't it? I got this wrong. It's this one and this one that are 2 dominant colors for the quilt. This is your binding. So basically, this is the binding. This is fabric A, fabric B, fabric C, E. No, binding. Sorry.
It's all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, the binding is at 6 o'clock, and then when you go clockwise, it's A, B, C, D, E, and F. They're all in that same orientation. And Kim told me or said on the live the other day that F and D are the two dominant colors for each of the colorways this go around. So the first one here is called, well, currently called Joy, but the name of it will get changed, by Laundry Basket Quilts for Andover. The second one is Flower Fields by Maureen Cracknell for Art Gallery. True Blue by Maureen Cracknell for Art Gallery. So there's two art galleries right there. Autumn Forage by Bocassini Meadows for Figo Fabrics. Garden Dreams by Jason Yinter for In the Beginning Fabrics. This one's kind of cool. Grunge Bright. I bet this one's going to sell. What?
Garden Dreams looks like the cotton candy that I just did for Carnival.
Yeah, it looks a lot like it. And this grunge bright basic gray looks almost like Tiger Claw from So Sweet.
So if you're following what Kim said, B and F being the dominant colors, if we're looking at the grunge brights right there.
So that would be blue and red.
No, A would be red, right?
No, A would be green.
So where does A start? Because it's hard to see your pointer. What color on this wheel is A?
A is if you start at 6 o'clock with that dark blue, that's the binding.
Yes.
And then you're going to go clockwise, which means the green is A, the darker green is B, that yellow is C, the red is D, the orange is E, that dark blue is F.
Okay. Okay.
So the red and the blue will be the two dominant on that one. Okay. And it's like over here on this Jason Yinter one you mentioned, looks like the other one. That white over here and the flowery light blue one up there, those are the dominant for that one.
That one, that helps knowing that trick though, because now when I look at this, right, I can see that if we start at the binding, that white with the small blue floral print that's kind of in that 9 o'clock position, that's your fabric B.
Yep.
I'm looking at the wrong screen. And then over to the right of the binding, the one with all the swirls on it, that's your fabric F. And so those two fabrics together don't have a lot of contrast. So you might miss out on some contrast if you pick that one. I'm glad to know that.
Now, she did mention when we get down here, yeah, I'll show you this one in a minute. Okay. According to Kim, the reason there's another purple batik is because they do a purple batik colorway every PMQ just about, she said. They always have at least one. So she must have a lot of purple buyers. The one in the middle, oh, the batiks are by Banyan Batik Studios for Northcott. The one in the center here, it's Erie by Katerina Rochella for Art Gallery. Here's another art gallery. The one to the right, the one I was going to mention, this one right here, the black and the red and the gray, I guess that's what that is. You notice you can't hardly see the two lighter colors over here. So that white up at the top, which would be D, and the red flower one with the silver back is to the right of 6 o'clock. That'll be D. That one might come out kind of interesting, maybe. Because it's using that really light colored back. Looks like almost a background almost. All right, the next row, and I have, I'm about to show you the one that's kind of talking to me a little bit. This one over here, we're going from left to right. my left to right, which would be your right to left. So over here, B Basics by Lori Holt for Riley Weight Fabrics. That's this one. I bet there's going to be a lot of sewers for that one. That one might outsell all of them. The middle one is called Ebb and Flow by Isolde Designs for Wyndham Fabrics. This one, Nora's Garden by Shauna Doris for Andover. This is the only one that has really piqued my interest so far. The purple's fine, but if I was to do the purple, I would probably be cutting fabric for one of the pieces.
Debbie Foster says that it's D as in dog and F
Yeah,
are
D and F.
not B as in boy.
No, D like dog. D and F.
Heard B. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Yeah, it's D and F. D up here by to the right of 12 o'clock, and F is to the right of 6 o'clock. Okay, the other one that kind of stands out, I don't know what you think about this one, but this one, this Kate Bassett's Collective for Free Spirit Fabrics, look at the color she chose on that one. This one might be a little fun, maybe, but the problem is if F is this one to the right of 6 o'clock, and D is to the right of 12 o'clock, you see those two oranges? They're using the two same colors almost.
Yep.
The middle is Tim Holt's Eclectic Elements for Free Spirit Fabrics. The next one is the usual red, green, and white or gray, and this one looks Christmassy. So it's called Chalk and Charcoal by Jennifer Sampu for Robert Kaufman. And that's all of it so far right now. Okay, where did my keyboard go? Oh, there we go. Okay, let me see what I missed in the chat. Judy says, I think I'm going with Tim Holt's line, trying to decide if I'm ready for a large. Stephanie Fulton says, I will not admit to how many started quilts. They are hiding all over the house. Nancy says, hi, Becca and Katie. Hi, Nancy. Rachel says, I find that I can't have too many unfinished projects. I get stressed. My mind likes to check things off the list. As a procrastinator, that's doesn't hardly happen. Okay, let me see here. All right, I think we're kind of caught up. Patty wants to know if you're feeling okay, Becca.
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just working on my blocks.
You want to show them what you're working on?
I will as soon as it's done. I'm almost done.
Okay. Let me know and I'll spotlight you.
All right.
Now that I know how to do that. Without turning everything into a disaster. I'm getting better at it.
There you go.
No, listen, I've learned that it's not a good idea to make pre-dated lives when you're tired because you'll make a big mess of it. Especially when you're trying to do multiple of them at the same time.
Yeah. Doing anything when you're tired is usually not a good idea.
Well, my eyes are giving me a fit today.
The older I get, the more my eyes get blurry towards the end of the day. So I feel you on that.
Well, when I went to see the doctor last, and I went to complain about my eyes again, and I'm probably going to keep on complaining about them. But I told her, because the first thought, when I tried to tell the doctors in Denmark and here about the other part of the problem I was having, they weren't listening. But for the last, I want to say, the last 30 years, probably, somewhere around that time frame, every time I would yawn, And that even happens now when I yawn, it makes my eyes water, and then my eyes turn into like you had poured fire in it or something.
Oh, wow.
And like today, it feels like I have glass in my eye, in my right eye.
Ooh.
The other one is not much better off, but it's not as aggravated as my right eye is right now. Come to find out, she put something in my eye to look at the tears and the tear ducts.
Uh-huh.
And your eye ducts make tears, but
Hmm.
in those tears is lubrication made from fat. It's a lubrication is basically what it is. My eyes are not making that lubrication.
Gotcha.
So when I start having this burning stuff going on, or it just hurts when I wake up in the morning, and even if I manage to get my eyes to water where there's fluid coming out of it, it doesn't fix it.
Mm.
And then I have it as what do you call it? I don't know the word. Because my face is a sensitive place, I can't even put eye drops in my own eyes. So that just makes it even worse.
Oh, wow.
Because getting around my face, even though they're my hands, causes problems. Nikolai's trying to help me with that when he's home. He's been putting drops in my eyes. And he's trying to get me where I don't flinch every time he gets too close. So we've been well, I won't hit him. He knows that. The only way that would ever happen is if he hit me first. But we've been, we started out when I first moved here, just him touching my face. And now I got where I don't move away when he goes to touch it. But the eyeballs is the other problem. So today they're really bugging the crap out of me.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, they don't feel good today. Got up that way. Could have been I was outside too long looking for northern lights last night. We were so close to seeing them, and then someone from the town posted pictures from last night. Lucky them because they live up on Princess Mountain. I live down here in the valley on the lake, and there's a big mountain on the back side of the town where you can see the harbor and the fjord and everything. There was fog over the top of us, a big black cloud of fog, so couldn't see the sky. But they could see the sky from up on the mountain, and you could see the northern lights to the left of the clouds that was over the lake.
Wow.
I'm like, somebody got a really cool shot.
Sounds that way.
And the colors were exceptional. I'm like, those are times when I wish I had a car so I could just drive up on the mountain and go out and look for it. Rachel Nelson says, I haven't done a mystery quilt before. I am not sure if I want to still, but I saw the scraps contest. That looked interesting. Has anyone done that? You mean for the one's called Stitch It and the other one's called
Snippet.
Snippet. So she's talking about the snippet one. People are having a good time with the snippet one. I have I haven't really I haven't really heard anything bad about the snippet. I bought a snippet and it came with what was petites, but it didn't feel like petites. It was that one colorway that everybody was talking about, remember? That it was so heavily it had too much metallic in it,
I
and
don't
it made
know.
it hard to sew.
No clue.
So I'm trying to get this block to line up. It's giving me a hard time.
Nancy's telling you to try laying the bottle of the eye drops on your nose so you can't see it coming in.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. laying the bottle on your nose so you can see it coming. That's actually a good idea. I'll try that later tonight. Lay on the bed and try. When I go back to Florida in 2026, I'm gonna go see my daughter works for a um optometrist. No, she's a surgeon of eyes. I can't think of what that's called.
Okay.
Ophthalmologist, maybe that's what they're called.
Okay.
But she's a really good eye doctor, and I'm going to get a second opinion, see what she has to say about what's going on with my eyes. Well, we already know some of it has to do with stuff that can't be undone, but this thing with my vision weakening, it aggravates me because glasses over here are so pricey. They're like 15. If you um converted it to US dollars, this pair of glasses I have on right now would have cost $1,500 in the US.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's cheaper for me to go see an ophthalmologist there and pay $500 for my expensive glasses than it is to pay $1,500 for it.
Yeah.
I have to take a small bank loan out just to pay for it.
I feel you on that one.
All because I have bad eyes. Okay, now maybe I can get this box on.
Block number 10 is almost done.
Hi, Vicki from Michigan. How's the weather up there? I know y'all been getting kicked about a little bit. There was some, speaking of weather, there's a couple of YouTube channels I watch sometimes when they're out chasing tornadoes.
Yeah.
3 nights ago, they were chasing a big one.
Mhm.
And oh my gosh, they got the best footage I think I've ever seen of a wide mouthed tornado. I mean, it was magnificent. The roll clouds that were going all the way up into the atmosphere was substantial.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing looking at it. Normally, I don't talk about tornadoes all that much because I think hurricanes are beautiful, but that one that they got a really great shot of, oh my goodness, they were in the catbird seat. And then some of them make me nervous because they get right so close to where that tornado tail is at. Because they were also filming a rope tornado, and I've never seen rope tornadoes do that before, but that was pretty cool. All right, I think I got this one on here. That means these two have been done. Now I got to work on the other three of the other ones. Have you seen anything else on cotton cuts you'd rather do?
No.
You mentioned taking a break from the PM2.
Did I? I don't think I
Yeah,
did.
on a live you did.
When was
Of
that?
it.
I don't remember saying it.
Well, you said something about taking a break. That's what it was.
Oh, I don't remember saying that, but I do remember saying that I'm not sure which one I'll do this go around, and I always leave the puzzle mystery quilt open-ended for cotton cuts so that they can decide whether or not they want to invite me back as an ambassador. So until I know, until
Okay.
I have an invitation to be an ambassador, I don't promise that I'm doing it on a channel. I may choose to do it as a personal sew if I'm not invited to be an
And
ambassador.
I
So
misunderstood that. I'm sorry.
that's okay. I just don't want anybody getting the impression that I'm jumping ship on cotton cuts. At the end of every puzzle mystery quilt, they have the right to choose who they want to be ambassadors, and they have a right to not ask me to return. And I always want to leave it open-ended for them, but I also want to leave it open-ended for me too.
Yep, that makes good sense. If you were to do something else, what would you want to do? Is there something else that interests you?
Well, so I don't know what you mean. Like
I
something
mean,
else for video or something else is in quilt. Like I those are two different things for me.
well, I don't, I don't know how to answer that. I thought there's so many subscriptions through them.
Oh, is that what you're asking? Would there be another subscription that they have that would interest me? Because that's a third thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. As far as subscriptions through them go, I would probably lean more towards one of their fabric subscriptions for a little while so that I could use it for projects that I want to make or patterns that I want to write.
Yeah.
If I were to change directions, that might be a way I would go.
I'm sorry for that misunderstanding.
Oh, it's
Now,
okay.
I don't want people to.
It's fine. And
Mine
you
is
know, like,
spoken.
it'll all work itself out. We'll see who's going to do the next round of puzzle mystery quilts, who's going to be ambassadors, who's not, who's going to do the larges, who's going to do the small. But I will say, and I have been fairly open about this, is I don't want to make content that people don't want to watch. And my puzzle mystery quilt videos have not been performing as well as they used to. So I wonder if my audience doesn't want to see me do them.
Oh, that's a really good question.
All right, here's my block.
Right. Let me put you where everybody can see you. Oh, look at how that came out. That's gorgeous.
Yep, I like it.
Melissa says, I want to be a cotton cuts ambassador when I grow up. That block, that colorway for that block of the month is impressive.
Yeah,
It's going to
it's
be
using,
beautiful when it's finished.
I think it's using the Sunnyside fabric from Camille Ross Kelly.
Okay. Kelly Molitor says, hi, Becca and Katie, just got home eating dinner. Then we'll start sewing. Welcome, welcome, Kelly. Denise says, all the things we handle can be full of irritants and worse that can cause our health problems. Don't think doctors are able to keep up with all the causes, and insurance doesn't want them to. Yeah, I'm having a hard time. I've been waiting for 2 years to see an ears, nose, and throat doctor. 2 years.
That's a long time.
Uh-oh. Joyce says, just had a tornado warning expired here in Ohio. Oh, it's expired. Good. Vicki, what did you say? I didn't see what you said. Now, Judy says, Becca, I will watch whatever you decide to sew.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That makes me feel good,
Now,
but
I'll watch whatever you do too. I'm just up for that.
the people that won't watch anything I do, those are the ones that I want to hear from.
I want all those people not watching you. Sorry, that was a dumb comment.
The people that'll watch anything I put out are great, but the ones that are only going to watch some videos, those are the ones I
Yeah.
want to hear from.
No. It's interesting when you're looking at your analytics and you're like, why did they like that video and blow it out into outer space? And this same style again, and then it's like, oh, whatever, we don't want to watch that one.
Yeah.
Interesting watching it fluctuate.
I went and got my nails done today. And I had her take my nails were pretty long. I had gel polish on and I had her take the gel polish off completely and cut my nails short and file them down a little bit, and we left them bare. So I have very plain nails right now that are very short. And I am kind of excited about this because I feel like I keep dealing with this eczema around my fingertips and it's
Mhm.
getting annoying. And so I want to, I decided I'm going to, for the next couple of months, I'm only going to get manicures where they just like shape my nails and clean my cuticles and buff polish, and that's it. No lotion, no, none of their polish, nothing. I did invest in my own polish that I'm going to keep at home. I bought an Olive and June kit so I can paint my nails my own color, but I'm going to let them breathe for a little while, for a little bit first. And I'm going to see how that does, because I want this eczema to go away. But I think I figured out what I'm having a reaction to. I think it's the lotion that they use because they rub it all over your hands. Because I always have an eczema flare up like the next day after I go to the nail salon. And then it takes a couple of days and it dies down. And then about the time I get to 2 or 3 weeks, when it's time to go back, it's under control, but I still have the dry skin, but the itchiness is kind of gone and the creams worked. And then I go and I repeat the cycle. And so I'm just going to stop going for a little bit. I don't have this problem on my feet. I only have it on my legs. I only have it on my hands, which is why I'm thinking that it's something that they're using in the hand lotion. It's obviously not the polish. It's obviously not the acetone. It's got to be the lotion. So today when I went, the nail tech got like, she went to put the lotion on my hands. She got a pump of it and I pulled my hands back real quick. I was like, nope, I'm allergic. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It could be the lotion, or it could be, how do you put this? They stick their little, when they open the
The
fingernail
tool.
polish and the little brush, and that little brush touches everybody else's fingernails.
Okay,
Maybe something's being passed through that.
hold on one second. Sorry, Jason made lasagna, so I'm gonna go grab some of that in just a minute. But
Okay.
yeah, no, that could be it too. It could be a number of different things. So I just figured, because I kept trying to be like, okay, well, what if I do it this way? What if I do it this way? And I would change one thing. So instead of changing one thing and dealing with all of it, I'm getting rid of everything, all of the variables, and I will start adding them back one at a time. And I will figure out what I'm having a problem with. But in addition to all of that, in a couple of weeks, I do have an appointment with an allergist. Finally, I've been wanting to do this for years, where I'm going to go and get tested to see what I actually am allergic to, and hopefully we can get some of the allergies that I have under control.
One question for you. Do you wash with and I'm going this way because I'll give you a reason why in a minute. Do you use Dawn with the blue color Dawn or the green color Dawn?
No.
Okay, so that's not it. Because I'm allergic to it, and I didn't become allergic to that. Is the color something that makes it that color is what I was allergic to, and it turned my hands into fire. And it only started after I gave birth to my daughter, and they told me my hormones had changed, and
Yeah.
that probably what brought that on. So when I was at Christine's, Christine uses Dawn Power Wash on dishes before she puts them in her dishwasher, and I had picked them up to rinse them off. I just got a little bit on my hands, and guess what?
You
An
break
hour
out?
later, I had this red blotch on my skin.
Yep. Well, so I have gotten hives before, but what's different this time is it doesn't start with hives. It starts with this insane itch that feels, it's not a superficial itch. It's like a deep itch.
Down inside.
And it goes all the way up my finger and into my hand. And I can't scratch it, because if I do, then I'm going to break the skin, because the skin of my hands is, it's sensitive. It's not calloused. So I will usually end up like I've gotten better at it, but if I dig at it or even rub it or whatever, the next step after that is that skin turns dry and starts flaking off, and it
Yeah.
just becomes this whole thing. And so the hives doesn't happen anymore. I have had that in the past. Now it just goes straight to this intense itching and flakiness. And I've gone to the doctor. She said it's eczema. I have a steroidal cream. We've gone through a couple different ones to find the one that works. The one that I have does work, but I almost have to carry this around everywhere I go. And I really think it's the lotion that they're using, but I'm
Sounds like
tired.
it.
Yeah. And my mom has super sensitive skin too. So this is not beyond the realm of possibility. And it's happened as I've gotten older. So as your hormones change and you start going through the change and you become postmenopausal, all your body, the chemistry in your body changes, and things that you weren't allergic to, you develop allergies to. I never used to be allergic to dogs. I am allergic to them now. I never used to be allergic to cats. I am now. I never used to be allergic to pollen. I am, like, I'm allergic to so many things. And I feel like every year I just add another thing to the list.
Yeah. I think a lot of our allergies come from the things we eat.
Yeah.
Makes a wreck of your immune system.
Yep. Maybe.
Wait a minute. How did you block someone, Beverly?
You can always
Apparently
hide
some,
anybody.
huh?
You can hide anybody you want to in the chat. It
Oh,
just
well,
blocks them
is
on
he
your,
hidden from?
it just blocks them for your account, not from the channel.
Hello, beautiful ladies. Hope you are all having a great day. This must be who she's talking about.
That didn't sound like me.
Jose, this is a quilting channel. So if you come in here,
Oh,
um,
oh, just no. Just go hide him. Don't even comment. Just go ban.
I,
Just go ban him. Don't even talk about it. Don't acknowledge it. Just click on it and ban.
uh-oh. Is that the same thing as putting in timeout?
No. Hide user from this channel. Just do it.
Oh, got it. Okay, he's gone, you guys. So sorry. I need to get another. You want to be my moderator, but you never come in here. That's why I didn't set you.
That's okay. I don't mind if you hand it over. I'm not going to I I don't have time to moderate people's channels,
Are
but
you in the, is your name in the chat?
sure, I'll do a little smiley face.
Okay, because I didn't know if you could see. Well, yeah, because you've been reading them too. Never mind. That was a really dumb question.
Yeah. The first rule, whenever you get something like that, Katie, don't read it, don't acknowledge it, don't give them any reaction, because that's exactly what they want. Don't do that.
Okay, okay, all right.
Just delete it and move on. And you don't even acknowledge that you removed it. Just let it move on. And same thing in the chat. If everybody gets uppity in the chat, that's just as much incentive. None of the words that they type on their screen are going to do anything other than make you clutch your pearls. So it's not hurting anyone.
Yeah,
The moderators and the streamer will see it. They will remove them. But the best way to deal with that is just to give them no acknowledgement.
okay, okay, gotcha.
Oh,
Um,
quilting compound says carbohydrates can contribute to the symptoms of eczema. Oh, very
yeah,
cool.
someone was having a discussion. I don't remember which YouTube I was watching. There was a discussion about that this person has trouble sleeping, kind of like I do. And this person said that they went on keto, a type of keto. I think it's keto carnivore, I guess. And they went on it for 6 months. And before the 6 months was over with, he was going to bed at a regular hour. He took all the carbs and stuff out of his diet and the sugar.
Yeah. Food starts to taste a little differently too. If you start cutting back on sweets and things,
Yeah.
you'll find that food that you didn't like because it tasted like cardboard to you, eventually starts to taste really good. A few years ago, when I did Weight Watchers, that was one of the things that I remembered. By cutting back on the sweets and prioritizing some other foods, I started enjoying the flavor of just an iced tea. I like an iced tea, not sweet tea, like just brewed iced tea, maybe with a lemon wedge. That's something that I never would have been able to taste before. You just your taste buds start to adopt and
Yeah.
they're big, they become more potent. So
I found myself a little disappointed this last time when I come to the States. I normally, whenever I spend a certain period of time in a certain, in one spot, I'll go buy my own groceries. And I bought a half a gallon of Breyer's chocolate ice cream. Now, Breyer's is one of the richer tasting ice creams. I took it back to the room with me and got me a nice bowl thinking, oh, this, I'm going to be in heaven in all of about 5 seconds. And it tasted like ice milk. It didn't taste like the ice cream before the pandemic. It's like
yep.
something changed.
Well, I think your hormones can change all of that. It can change your sleeping habits. It can change your body temperature. It can change what you like. It can change how your mind works. It changes a whole bunch of stuff. So, it could be, that could be part of it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I think it tastes like ice milk. What's the deal? And I went back in and went to a different store. There was another kind of ice cream that's even more expensive and richer than Breyer's, but I couldn't think of the name of it. And when I went in the store, because I figured if I saw it, I would know it. And it wasn't there anymore. So they must have went bankrupt.
Maybe.
Can't think of the name of them at the moment. Seal Test, that's who it is. The Seal Test is usually like way expensive compared to Breyer's.
All right. Jason has poked his head in the door. I know we've got 3 hours here, but tonight is the night before Mother's Day, and we're celebrating Mother's Day tonight.
Well, I thought I would cut it off we started at 7. I thought I would cut it off at 9.
Okay, well, I'll sit around for another 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's what I was
But
thinking. I'd cut it off at 9.
okay, not a problem. I'm just letting you know we're celebrating Mother's Day today. So he's made lasagna for us, and he poked his head in the door. The lasagna's done. I'm really excited. But also, do you remember those toolboxes that everybody was talking about last night?
Yeah.
I got a toolbox for Mother's
Oh,
Day.
show it to
So
us.
I don't get to have it until dinner time, which is when my daughters
Oh,
give me my gift. So I
okay.
have, they got us two, Jason took her to Lowe's and they got two of those little white mini toolboxes, one for by my machine here and one for the other machine on the other side of the room. So kind of itching to get my hands on that and get it all set up and put stickers on it and stuff. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I bet you are. It is cute.
It is cute. And Jason said they were so cute that he wanted one for himself, so he bought himself a black one.
Yeah. They are adorable.
Yeah, so that's good. I have not had lasagna in a long time, so I'm really excited. I think he just bought, we got a membership to Sam's Club, and he's loving the Sam's Club life. I swear we moved to the suburbs, and my husband has turned into suburban dad. All the things, like stereotypical dad.
Mhm.
Um, he went to Sam's Club today. He even got my mom's prescriptions from Sam's Club, so
Oh,
I didn't have to
that's
go.
awesome.
Yep. He did some grocery shopping and he bought a couple of pre-made lasagnas that he just had to warm up in the oven. So that's what we're having for dinner tonight. I'm really excited about that. But he also, when I went to Sam's Club with him a couple of weeks ago, they had in the bakery aisle the apple and cherry turnovers and the danishes, and I was like, oh, I love those. Well, he came back with a tray of apple turnovers. I have already had one. It was delicious.
Aw. I didn't
So,
get around to making me any fried okra when I was there last because I didn't see any in the stores.
oh, you know what I like is the pickled okra.
Now, someone was putting pictures of their pickled green beans with okra pods, and I'm like, that's interesting. I've never
Hey,
seen the two pickled together.
Hold on a second. Joan's asking to show off the toolbox. Let me go see if I can get the black one that Jason
Yeah, I
has.
told you they were gonna. Yep, I knew that was gonna happen.
I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay, I'm gonna have to share 'em. Happy Mother's Day to you too, Nancy. Happy Mother's Day to all of y'all mamas. Andrea, I have been having trouble with this rehab place. Uh-oh. Are you gonna need to go light a fire under somebody's butt? Oh, that wasn't done. Have one more.
Okay, so the ones that I got are white. I do not have them in my possession yet. But the one that Jason got is black. And I will change you to this camera so that you can see. This
Wait,
is what the front.
hang on a minute. Can everybody see that? Because I had already spotlighted you before you changed cameras.
Okay,
Let's make sure everybody can see it. Hearts,
can.
please.
They
Put
can
some
see.
hearts. They can see it? Okay.
Yeah. Yep,
All
I'm
right.
watching it. So
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. So go ahead.
this is the front. And then this is the top. It measures, because somebody's going to ask, what are the measurements? It measures, hold on, that's the wrong way. It measures just about 6 inches tall. It measures about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 inches wide. And it is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches deep. You have 3 compartments on it. You have the top compartment. You just flip this open. And this is kind of neat. At first, I didn't like it because I wanted it to stay propped, but the hinges are pretty strong. So this can become another work surface, and it's all metallic. So you can put magnets and stuff in there. And then you have 2 drawers. This is the top drawer. He has a little screwdriver in there. It does not come all the way out, but you can, like, if you tilt this back a little bit. It's hard to see because it's a black one, but you can reach the back of the drawer without putting your hand inside of here. And then that goes back in. And then the bottom drawer is deeper. It's thicker than the other one. And you can put your stuff in there. So just for idea for how big this is, here's some items that I can put in here, right? And I can always make like little wedges or whatever to kind of probably can't do that up there, but I could do this down here. So yeah, I hope that helps.
Yep. Great looking little box.
Yeah, I like it. I'm excited to get mine and play with it.
Good looking little box.
It's not bad. I don't mind it.
Okay, let me see what time it is now.
Andrea says, I found even in the hospital, they use sugar in everything.
Sugar is in everything you get from this process. Just
Yeah.
about.
I mean, less processed foods.
So here's a funny one. They sell chicken legs in bags, chicken thighs in bags, chicken breast in bags. And when you read the ingredients on the back of those 3 particular ones, there's sugar mentioned right in the middle of them. Why are they putting sugar in our birds?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
And they want to know why the whole world is obese. Oh, let's just add sugar to everything and make them fatter. I can go on this rant for hours.
It's funny. Nancy was like, are you going to keep his screwdriver? No, I just put it back in here. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me.
Melissa took a pic of it. Andrea says, it is terrible. Oh, I already read that. Vicky says, Andrea, I found even in the hospital they use sugar and everything. Oh, yeah, you read that. Nancy says, are you keeping the screwdriver? And you said, nope, giving it back. I'm almost done with these flying geese.
Don't mind me. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to organize this.
I want to know what all you're going to put in it.
Well, so I have an acrylic carousel that's kind of like on a Lazy Susan, and it's got a bunch of different little compartments over here. And so I think I'm going to retire that, and I'm going to either put that stuff away into my clothes storage under the long arm, or put it in here if I use it.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish they would hurry up and get their butts over here and get the rest of my sewing room fixed. I really want to get in there and start working on it.
Okay.
I'm tired of sewing in this itty bitty space.
It can be done though, and you're doing it. And you're going to appreciate your room when it's finally fixed even more. It doesn't mean that it's not frustrating right now, but there's always a positive line. And sometimes it's hard to find it because you got to shovel the manure to get to it, but I'm watching you press the seams.
Now I have all three of these made.
Lily's asking, did I get the cobalt things? Not yet, but yes, my daughter got me 2 white ones for Mother's Day. I'm not supposed to know. I do know. Thank you. I will get them after dinner. So in a few minutes here, we're going to wrap up the live stream and I'm going to go join my family for dinner. My husband travels every Sunday to take care of his son. And so when we have holidays on Sundays, like Easter or, well, Easter is different because we bring him home, but like for Mother's Day or other things, he's gone. And so we celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day on the Saturday beforehand. And so tonight is our Mother's Day dinner. So we'll have, my mom's out there now. Jason's got a nice spread out there. They're eating and chatting. And I told him I'd be out in a little bit.
Yep, we're about to shut this down.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. So anyone else wants to ask a question, you need to hurry and do it.
Michael said that's not manure that you have to shovel. It's fertilizer because it's helping make it grow.
Yeah.
There, I like that. Sometimes the silver lining is really under a couple layers of fertilizer and it's going to bloom beautifully. I like that. That's neat.
Do you see such text on the screen, Becca?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because I didn't see
I
it.
can see the closed captions.
So Andrea says, well, Katie, my hearing aids just said battery, so now I cannot hear. Only read captions, laugh out loud. 3 hours, time's up. Melissa says, Mona did what? I don't know what that one was about. Vicky says, the meats were full of salt, and when you have high blood pressure, that's not good. You are so right about that.
That's true. That's true. Like I've been trying to pay attention to sodium intake and I have been blown away at how much sodium is in our food,
I
especially when you're
know.
looking at like fast food and stuff.
When I come over there, after not being there for a while, and I stopped eating French fries because they're too salty. Sometimes the salt is overwhelming, even on a hamburger from McDonald's.
Yep. My mom used to tell me that you can always ask them for no salt, like on the fries and stuff. But even then, like I remember at one point I thought I was eating healthier because I reduced my portion sizes and I obviously reduced the frequency that I was eating. And so I decided on my way home from work, I had left in the middle of the day and I was going to stop and grab McDonald's for lunch. But I was like, well, I want McDonald's, but I'm just going to get the chicken nugget kids meal. Right. And so I got that. I came home and I ate it. So little kitty fry, little 4-piece nuggets, not terribly a lot of food, but I felt like I had done a solid because I could have had the Big Mac. Right. Definitely a better choice. However, later down the road, when I looked at the nutrition facts for that, the amount of sodium that was in that meal is the amount of sodium that you should have in an entire day in that one meal.
Yep. It's kind of crazy.
It is. It is. Oh,
Okay.
Mona did what? Said my cardiologist said salt is not a problem. Sugar can damage your heart. Huh.
Yep.
My doctor, Vicky says, my doctor says no. I'm not sure what they're saying no to.
I don't know either.
Oh,
Okay.
Melissa said that sugar can create hidden inflammation. Oh, and Vicky said her doctor says no salt.
Oh, okay. So, we're going to call it for the night. All of y'all who are moms, happy Mom's Day for tomorrow. Make sure you enjoy each other and hug each other as much as you can. Thank
What
you,
are you
Becca.
doing for Mother's Day, Katie? Okay. Are you doing a live stream or something? No, I know how are like real talk, how are you doing with Nikolai being gone?
I'm still a little, I'm still missing him a little bit. He called me today, I think, and asked me if I was all right because he says I've been too quiet on my Facebook. In
Yeah.
fact, that's usually when he starts asking that, is because I'm not talking on my Facebook. Normally I talk all the time. You probably know that.
Yeah.
Or posting things anyway, and I hadn't posted much of, well, I've been posting like my lives, but I haven't really been talking to anyone.
Okay. I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. So, because I
I,
know
I'm
tomorrow's
I'm
Mother's.
okay. I mean,
Oh,
I'm not. I'm fine.
okay,
Grander scheme of things,
fair enough.
I would be lying if I said I was perfect because that would be a lie.
I think we all have moments. We all have moments like that, so that's okay.
And I get. I've been trying to sew because I noticed that if I just go one day and don't sew, then the next day I get up, I don't want to sew, and that's that funk that I
Yep.
hate getting into. And
Yep.
it's when you fall into the funk, because that's what I call it. Um, it takes days to get my butt back out of it. It's just
Yep.
I don't know. It's the nature of the illness, I guess, or whatever
Yep.
you want to call it.
Yep.
Something that's there that's been there for a while.
I think it's a good idea to keep leaning into the things that be help you stay out of the spiraling. So that's good.
One of
Glad
the
you.
things I'm one of the things that I've been twitching. I've been walking out the door. There's no snow on the ground. It's still cold, a bit cold, not cold like it was in February, but still, so the wind blows a little bit. There's still ice on the lake. So when the wind comes across it, it makes it feel colder. And then there's ice in fjords. But I really want to get outside and clean up the front yard. And it's just a matter of how do I get myself motivated to get my arse outside at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon when it's at its warmest and actually do something by myself. You know what I mean? It's like if I had someone to talk to, I probably would do. But I had thought, well, why don't I put some loud speakers outside and turn the music up and
Yeah.
do that? That might motivate me quicker.
The music always helps motivate me when I'm in a bit of a funk. I'll turn on some tunes that make me want to dance or
Yeah,
sing
exactly.
and
Dance
that
and sing.
yep. Yep, it makes it a little bit easier to start working on some things. I don't spend as much time at the long arm as I feel like I should for the amount of money I spent on that thing. And sometimes cranking up the tunes in the studio will help get my butt over there, stand up, get some work done. And, you know, it's good for your body too, because you're getting up, you're stretching, you're moving around. I love quilting. I love piecing. That's what I do the most of is piecing. But so much of that time is sitting in a chair, and that's not good for you either.
People are asking who's going live tomorrow. You guys go to the guy who sews YouTube page, the main page, and then go to his community tab and click on that. You will find the database for everybody who goes live on each of the days. I do think that tomorrow,
I think it starts with Donna's doing one at 9 o'clock
yeah,
to let people know how she's doing. And then it just kind of trickles. There's like, it's like a chain, but you know, it's, you never know who's going to end up going live. Just because folks have it on the schedule too. There's nothing saying that, Katie, if you're feeling particularly some kind of way, you could pull your computer out and go live too. That's completely within your right. But I know from a pre-scheduled, pre-arranged time slot, if that's what you're looking for, if nothing else, Donna's there at 9. I think Danelle is 10. And then I think there's a gap until the afternoon, but there could
I'll
be
have to
people
look and
there.
see what the gap is because maybe I could come and sew some more.
Well, I'll tell you, like I've told you all along, and I tell anybody else if they ask, don't worry, like do what's right for you, do what's right for your channel. There's always the replay if somebody else is live. This is not meant, like nobody should ever look at any of those time slots or anything on YouTube as I am the only person that can be live. I'm the only person that can post a video. I'm the only person that can do this quote. I'm the only person that can do this topic. The world is just too small for all of that. People are going to watch what they want to watch. They're going to resonate with what they want to resonate with. And it doesn't matter if 50 people do it or one person does it.
Yep, I agree
Do
with
what
you.
works for you.
I realize that part of the things I need to really get better with is staying consistent where my lives stay. Yes, I had some dotted in and out of those too. But while I was on vacation, I didn't have a really I should have made backup of something to put on there to fill those spots so I still had watching hours going on, but I didn't have time to make anything.
It's
I'm
okay.
still learning.
But there's nothing wrong with learning from that now, right? Like here just keep going. Now you know next time you take a month off to go to the States, you have some sort of plan to keep your channel putting content out there while you're gone. And maybe that's you doing live streams from the States. Maybe that's making pre-recorded videos that go up, but that's a lesson that you've learned.
Yep, definitely. That was a big lesson to learn. It's like, okay, this is my fault. Okay, Melissa says watching lives helps me when I'm alone. I agree with you.
Yep.
Melissa says Awkward Quilter Georgia goes live at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Melissa.
Holy cow.
Um, Andrea says that is what I do. I love the lives, and so many are the same time that I have to choose. Sometimes I visit one for a while and then go to the other one. You want to hear something funny from me? There's three different, well, there's actually four in this house. And sometimes I'll have all four of them going on different people's channels, and I just turn the volume off and let it run.
Yeah, I've done that. Like if I'm at work and I'm on a meeting or something, sometimes I'll turn, if I see somebody that I'm subscribed to is live when I open a browser, I'll open their live stream and I'll just turn the audio down because I might need to listen into a conversation or I might be in a meeting online or something. It allows me to give them some watch hours, but I can also chat a little bit if it's a really boring meeting. Don't quote me on that. But I can participate in the chat. I've also there have been times where I've been in multiple live streams from one browser, just 3 or 4 different channels all on one tab, just to participate in the chat. And I'm not actually listening to anybody. I'm just interacting with people that are in the chat.
A lot of times I know it's annoying to some people a little bit, but there's a reason why I chat so much in the chat when the videos are going. It's
Yeah.
because I like the interaction. It's not, I mean, you and I are creators. You've been doing it a long time and I haven't. But one of the things that I don't get as, how do you put this? When you're sitting there and you're typing and you're having a good time talking to all these friends you've made friends with, you're not worrying about what's going on, and you're listening, or I am, and watching when you're sewing something. But I like both of it. I like to being able to talk, and I might not get questions answered, or but that's okay because eventually you do cover those topics when it comes up.
Yep,
But
yep, yep.
I like the interaction a lot, and it keeps me from being lonely.
Yeah, I can tell. It's a thing. I think a lot of people are leaning into doing more content on social media because it allows them to share their craft and their passion with others who enjoy it just as much as they do. And it takes a hobby or a pastime that has historically been very secluded for them and
Mhm.
makes it inclusive.
Okay. I this has been a blessing, I believe, for the most part, because oh, I had a lot of friends online before my family came apart.
Huh?
And there was this long period of time where I wasn't talking much online, but I wasn't talking to anyone else either. And there were times when I literally felt like I was just nobody. But then I'd go get on my horse and hit the woods and come out on the other end smiling. Some things just make you happy.
Yep. All right, Katie, thank you for having me
Yep.
tonight. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Sorry I didn't stick around for 3 hours, but I gave you two and I got a block done.
Two's fine. Melissa, hang on a minute. Let me give them an email address real quick.
No problem.
I hope I give it. Hang on a minute. Give the bot a chance, and then we're gonna hang up. Melissa, please email me if the bot wakes up.
I think that's the other neat thing is through your avenue, you're finding people that you're building relationships with, right? Because I would
Mhm.
not have met Ian or Tiffany or Donna or any of them had I not done the YouTube thing. And now I've got really good, close
No,
friends,
you're right about that. So
right? So
YouTube
you're
pulled
like
a lot of us.
you have your friend like Christine, you've got friends that you never would have met had you not been
Yeah,
quilting, had you not done
you're right.
not had you not had a channel. And you might not be best friends with everybody that watches you. You're friends with all of them, but you will eventually find some of the your people will find you, and that's who you're gonna go with. So all right, lady. I'm getting the evil eye, so I gotta go.
Yep. Okay. Better let you go. Let me go hit that. Good night, everyone, and remember to live, laugh, love, dream, and create. And Judy says, Katie, you have my number. Yes, I do. I will give you a yell. That's
There you
someone I made friends with in Georgia too.
there you go.
Anyway, good night, everybody. Let me shut this thing down so Becca can go.
Bye.
All right, where's that?